People will miss me after a while.
No, I wouldn't.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're looking at our favourite moments from Jeremy Clarkson's year at Diddley Squat Farm.
World is safe thanks to me.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 10. Blackberries.
The whole wall is moving. We're going to be harvesting a wall if you're not careful here.
Jeremy's first innovation of the new year is to farm the blackberries that grow naturally in the bushes and woodlands. Initially, he pulls a classic Clarkson move by borrowing the most expensive piece of equipment he can find to do this for him, only for it to go horribly wrong when he encounters a wall.
This wall does not stop.
His next idea was to use his Henry Hoover to suck up the blackberries, which works a treat, miraculously only picking the ripe ones.
Now we move to the other side of the vehicle where we find the vacuum cleaner. Simply apply the vacuum cleaner to the blackberry.
Charlie's on hand to bring him back down to earth, however, when it turns out he hasn't done any food hygiene tests, nor has he even weighed the blackberries.
How much is in there?
Well, that many.
No, but how many?
I don't know.
You got to measure it.
Still, at over £3 a jar with almost no upfront costs, the blackberries were a boon. Number 9. When Andy met Kaleb. Electronic musician and DJ Andy Cato also has a passion for farming, specifically regenerative farming.
That's pissing me off seeing him in there.
He approaches Jeremy with a business opportunity. He'll help farm the land using his techniques, and Jeremy will sell the produce to him directly, which can then be passed on to top retailers.
He's probably on, I don't know, boys' land or something. This is man's land.
But Kaleb isn't happy to see somebody else planting in his fields. Andy is calm and relaxed, while Kaleb grills him, finding faults in everything he's doing, from the drill he uses to how he plans to harvest the two different types of crops he's planting, wheat and beans.
You're planting wheat.
And beans.
How do you harvest it and not lose anything out the back?
You just set it so you're not losing anything out the back.
Eventually, Kaleb is satisfied, despite Jeremy going over his head in his new farm manager role.
Next question then. Was you in a band?
I was in a band.
I can tell.
Because?
Because you've left your tractor running at £1 a litre.
Number 8. Dambusters. While working on one of the farm's lakes, things only go from bad to worse. First is the revelation that the lake is full of invasive crayfish Jeremy isn't allowed to sell in the farm shop. And then there's his accidental destruction of the dam with his newest toy.
However, despite the terrible damage I've caused over there, I have... Ow!
It's up to him and Kaleb to rebuild the dam, and they just can't agree on what they're doing.
No, leave those, we're going to need them to build on top of.
Yeah, we're going to do it there, look.
No, please don't, please stop interfering.
They're throwing rocks at each other, using chainsaws recklessly, and then getting a stern dressing down from Charlie for how they weren't taking health and safety seriously enough.
Don't worry, Kaleb, I'm on my way to rescue you from your own incompetence.
He also didn't notify the council that there was a potential flood risk with what he was doing.
How long has this taken to create this mess?
Number 7. Nettles and mustard.
Chilled nettle soup.
Oh, wow.
Another plan of Jeremy's, much like the blackberry jam, is to start selling nettle soup in the farm shop. However, costs quickly stack up, as he ends up having to hire people to pick and clean the nettles for him. He initially wants to sell tubs of nettle soup dubbed Woodland Juice for £5 a pop, only to have to bump the price to 10 to make any money at all.
You're going to have to take a loss on that.
I'm taking a loss.
Well, then they won't sell it all, so work it out.
Lisa, however, isn't happy, telling Jeremy that nobody will buy it at that price.
He just brings me these soups with his idiot face on them, charges a tenner and says sell them.
Wouldn't you know it? She's right. She was right again when it came to Jeremy's mustard, with his mustard plants also yielding less than he thought, and he wanted to charge a fortune for the jars.
£6. £7 in Delsford.
It's quite small, okay.
Number 6. Hovercraft.
Well, As you know, I love hovercrafts.
In an attempt to spray fertilizer on the fields faster, Jeremy decides to invest in a hovercraft.
But effectively, you've no braking and no steering.
It's fast, but it unsurprisingly turns out to be a big waste of time and money, especially after he spends so long teaching Kaleb how to drive a hovercraft as opposed to a tractor, which isn't easy.
Is that it?
Oh, I'm empty.
And how big's this field?
20 acres.
It turns out that the tanks on the hovercraft are way too small, and Kaleb estimates it will take 25 complete refills and many hours to eventually cover the entire field. All while he has to wear a protective suit because the fertilizer is so hazardous.
Can you please undress me?
Number 5. Whitehall. In May 2023, Kaleb and Charlie headed into London for the Fork to Farm Summit, an event organised by the government so that it could learn how to serve and promote Britain's farming and agricultural industries.
That would be a great place to start. I would definitely go, wait, hello, Mr. President. How are you, Ricky?
Come and see me on the weekend.
You're not going to be Prime Minister next time.
As a result, Kaleb was sent to talk to Rishi Sunak about the industry. But, as with Kaleb's first trip to London, this one was also hilariously bizarre, as Charlie had to explain to him exactly what Whitehall is and how the government works.
If you knock that loud again, I'll throw you out.
Say that again?
Don't knock so loud.
Sorry, we're farming.
I don't care.
When he met Sunak, he complimented his hair.
I'm very well, thanks.
You've got lovely hair.
Me?
Yes. That's good.
Had you heard otherwise?
No.
It was a general comment.
But he was a stellar advocate for young farmers like himself, explaining how different farming is from other jobs.
You know, farming's not a job. It's a way of life. Yeah. That is it.
Number 4. Pork markets.
In December, I'll be in Beijing, opening up new pork markets.
Inspired by a viral speech from none other than Liz Truss, or shortest-lived Prime Minister on record, who didn't die in office, Jeremy decides that his new livestock project is going to be pigs.
Actually, I'm going to get on it now. I'm on it. I'm going to find a pig farm and I'm going to get some pigs. Piggly squat pork. Come on!
As with the cows and sheeps, he wants to breed them, though Charlie advises to just buy and fatten up the piglets and not bother with the breeding side. While he does buy some piglets, he also can't resist the temptation to breed, and gets a boar and some sows too.
He's going to porker. He's on already.
The drama continues when the boar tries to mate with the wrong pig, and a jealous sow vomits in Jeremy's pockets. Nice.
What the hell? The hell is that? Has one of the pigs been sick in my pocket?
Number 3. Conflict of interest.
Hello.
What are you doing here?
It's, I look after the client here as well.
What? Who's you?
Jeremy's got some goats now and decides that the best way to make money on them is to let other farmers hire his goats to clear all their weeds and brambles. But there's an issue.
So
How are we going to negotiate a price then?
I do realise there's a slight conflict.
Slight?
When he arrives at the neighbouring farm to negotiate with the land agent, he finds that the agent is none other than Charlie Island. Charlie's trying to get the best deal for both Jeremy and his other clients.
How about we call it 0?
No, not 0. Climb over this fence.
Every time Charlie crosses the fence, he flip-flops on whose interests he's representing as Jeremy tries to negotiate his goat rental fee.
So how much should he be paying me?
He should be paying, you know, 5 or 6 pence a day per goat.
Eventually, they get it all cleared up and the goats have plenty of thorns to eat.
£121.
Done.
Number 2. Mushrooms. Jeremy gets the bright idea to start growing mushrooms in a repurposed Second World War bunker on the farm.
Holy moly! Look at those!
He's primarily growing grey oysters, but also some bags of lion's mane. However, the mushrooms soon become arguably more trouble than they're worth.
Look at this. How many we've got? Thousands.
Mushrooms are easy to grow, almost too easy, and very quickly, Jeremy's got mushrooms on top of mushrooms, and there aren't enough people in all of Oxfordshire to buy them from him.
It's like a sponge that's mated with a cauliflower.
Though Lisa schemes to make powder from the lion's mane, they've still got an astronomical amount, with the show's crew being fed mushrooms for lunch every day for weeks.
Oh my giddy aunt. Look in there.
Then when the next mushroom crop goes moldy, he's almost sick in his mask. Number 1. Jeremy loses.
Hello.
Right, Charlie?
Hi, how are you?
Just do my numbers.
That's very good.
For the entire series, there's been a competition between Kaleb, now farm manager, and Jeremy. Kaleb's farming traditionally, Jeremy's farming on his thus far unfarmed woodlands. They totted up the costs and revenue to put their profits head to head.
We haven't lost money. That's the important
He's made a
thing.
profit.
I've made a profit.
Despite all of Jeremy's schemes with the nettles, the honey, the mushrooms, the jam, and all the livestock, Kaleb came out ahead, beating him as they managed to pull together 70 grand in profits.
£60,165. We are going to...
60,000.
165.
165. That looks like a good round number, doesn't it there? Look at it.
After the previous 2 years of struggling to do so much as break even, it was a breath of fresh air. Even if Charlie did insist that all the money immediately went to next year's expenses. But it's always good to see Kaleb come out ahead.
Well, there you go.
Woo!
Well done.
Let us know in the comments below if you've ever been to Diddley Squats and what you bought.
Can we edit this out?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.